But no more relaxation times. Now it will soon be only the time of suffering. Oh wow, I mean, that's how he did it. That's how he counted. It was like 1, 2, and he just, because he was the count of, I can't remember his exact title, but I'm actually very close to being max level tier. I just realized. I doubt it. I mean, very close, but yeah, give me some slack. Anyways, yeah, I think that's enough stalling. The roll video will probably end as of before I start the whole counting spiel, and we can begin Lostbelt 5.2 Interstellar Mountainous City Olympus, The Time to Bring Down Gods. Good lord, it is essentially a light novel title. Are they going to just drop me right into it, I wonder? It is going to just drop me right into things. Okay. Here we go. People have always turned their gaze skyward. In ancient times, they saw gods dwelling in the heavens. For many long years, the sky was a sacred domain that remained ever beyond reach. But then, at one point, proper human history, began to see untold possibility in the vast space beyond the sky. From then on, it was no longer a mystery to be feared, but a riddle to be solved. That's right. We will use every tool we can, our minds especially, to discover what makes you tick. We will never stop again, not until we have claimed the heavens for ourselves. We will turn our gaze skyward, and one day, we will bring down the gods. I mean, the gods have already gotten brought down in pan-human history, so... And this... Yep, I'm pretty sure this is the scene from the preview stream last night. I'm not really in with any Family Guy memes, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of the adult cartoons I don't honestly watch, / never really watched them. The humor never really clicked with me. Beyond the Great Pit, an impossibly enormous structure floats on the other side of a vast ocean, the texture that covers the planet's surface. As seen from the main monitor of the storm border, currently soaring through the air, the structure appears to be a place inhabited by thousands, if not millions of people. Oh wow. We're gonna do genocide properly this time, aren't we? Not people of the Anastasia Lostbelt, not the cattle farms of the Götterdämmerung or Scandinavian Lostbelt, not the dwindling, it was kind of farms in the Chinese Lostbelt, and not in the dwindling populace of the Indian Lostbelt. We are going to take out a proper civilization of possibly millions of people. We're monsters. Is that a city? Senpai, look up, in the sky. Atop the sprawling city sits another enormous structure. Above that, great mountains of translucent crystal loom even higher. Okay, so, another thing, the Olympus Lostbelt gods clearly saw the Halloween events and did like, yes, I want that. Because it's a tree on top of a mountain, on top of a probably temple, on top of a city, on top of an ocean. They're literally stealing the Halloween gag. And they're beyond the crystalline peaks. And that doesn't even look like a tree anymore. Lies the very thing they've been searching for. The roots of cosmic fantasy stretching out into space. And that's the Tree of Emptiness. That's the Tree of Emptiness we saw from Atlantis. But that's not the only thing that surprised me. I never would have dreamed that there could be such a massive hollow space underneath the Great Pit. It doesn't look subterranean either. It's more like an entirely different world. This is the true surface of the Earth. While it no doubt would appear to be the bowels of the Earth from upon Atlantis, it is in fact the true face of this Atlantic Lostbelt. Atlantis itself is mere camouflage. In proper human history's Greek mythology, the Age of Man ushered in through two great wars known as Machia. But what is going on in this Lostbelt? How was it able to control this space to such a degree? How was it able to advance this far? It appears to operate in the same manner as the Chinese Lostbelt in that it fully embraces the Tree of Emptiness, but the manner in which it does so appears wholly opposite the Chinese Lostbelts. While the Chinese Lostbelt hid its Tree of Emptiness completely, here it has been allowed to flourish to the greatest possible extent. I mean, it's not that it was hidden. I'm pretty sure you hid it. Like, unknown to Mothman. At least that's what it looks like. And that part down by the base must be the city. Yeah, it looks just like something you'd see in a science fiction novel. It's easily as impressive as the pictures of proper human history skyscrapers showed me. I can't tell what exact dimensions of the city are just by looking at it, but it's safe to say there are at least 10 million people living there. Minimum. Oh, we're doing this proper, aren't we? Yeah, 10 million people. So this is where the attack on Atlantic Lostbelt begins. In Olympus. Indeed, it would seem we truly have our work cut out for us. And that, of course, is as true here in this fifth of the seven hells as it ever was. And as Da Vinci said before, we cannot blind ourselves to the cost of our actions, not even for a moment. And that being said, how one reacts to cost depends entirely on the individual. And I, for one, am delighted by how you have all held on to your humanity in the face of such adversity. Computer room here. Sorry to interrupt, but I just finished scanning our vicinity. And just like I expected, the atmosphere here is just chock full of magical energy. So, this is the Age of Gods. The magical energy's density is at least on par with our records of the Seventh Singularity, if not higher. Are you serious? But the Seventh Singularity was in Mesopotamia during the proper human history's Age of Gods. And you're telling me this place exceeds this magical energy density? Something just forced its way through our comms line. It's not from the Wandering Sea, this is... Look up ahead, the signal's coming from that colossal structure. Zeus, isn't it? Drop the base. Fear us. Praise us. For you gaze upon mighty Olympus. The name of this Lostbelt I rule, given in honor of our great ark that has crossed the ocean of space. Now prostrate yourselves and weep before me. For this grand throne of the gods is not meant for the eyes of such insignificant specks as you. What's going on? This voice is so heavy. This pressure is immense, and he's not even here in person. It's as powerful as a spell designed to attack the mind. Da Vinci, quick, raise our bounded field's output before something happens to Solar Miniere. Got it. Now then. Between this immense pressure and this manner of speech, it looks like they're rolling out the biggest of all big guns. If I'm not mistaken, this must be... My name is Zeus. Zeus, the king of the gods. I rule over this ancient ocean. I rule this grand interstellar city. I rule over all. I am king of the Atlantic Lostbelt. This might be a good prologue shot. Zeus. Well, I was going to say one of the 12 Olympians, but no matter. This is unfortunately the worst of possible scenarios I predicted. Of all the gods to come out and greet us. I mean, they seem ready for us and throughout the whole of this Lostbelt. So, it's not really that surprising. They're bringing out the biggest of big guns at the start. So that's the Zeus of this Lostbelt. I already had a good idea of this thanks to the Poseidon we saw in Atlantis, but... Indeed, the king of the gods may be very different from the one in proper human history, but deep down they are fundamentally the same. The supreme being of Greek mythology, the winner of both Machia wars, and the one who rules over the 12 Olympians. Not merely a divine spirit, but a genuine god who once existed right here on Earth. His deep ties to both the concrete and abstract planes mean that he is one of the phenomenon beings shaping the very world itself. To put it another way, the king of the gods of myth is, in very real sense, the closest thing there is to a ruler of the entire planet.
Then, does that mean he's like Scotty in the Scandinavian Lostbelt? Or Arjuna in the Indian Lostbelt?
Unfortunately, no.
The combat data we collected from Artemis and Poseidon alone speaks volumes. We were able to weaken Arjuna's divinity by attacking the faith he engendered. But we definitely won't be able to do the same with these gods. Their existence is fundamentally different. Their godly functionality is a core part of their being, just like the Theos Clarinomia if you need proof. Their functionality is what makes them gods. Nothing can be done to alter that, and Zeus is the one who stands above all the others.
So they're not gods for being worshipped. They are just gods because they are just gods. Okay. So what are you trying to say? That Zeus is more powerful than any other foe we faced to date?
That can't be true. Don't you remember how tough Arjuna was? He was a monster who'd absorbed every god in India. How could anything entire orders of magnitude be more powerful than him exist?
If, like Artemis and Poseidon, Zeus has continuously ruled over this planet since ancient times without changing his very nature, then he is without a doubt in a league of his own. For you see, the ancient dramatist Aeschylus once described Zeus as the omnipotent and omniscient god of justice. Omnipotent king of the gods.
Omnipotent as in all-powerful.
Oh, come now. How can he possibly be omnipotent? Zeus was strong, yes, but he's known for being a sneaky and lecherous. He used to take on any old animal or person he came across and toss them up in the sky as constellations. He also, wields thunderbolts said to be capable of incinerating the entire universe.
Is that true, Captain? Come on, give it up to us straight. You're a half-god on Poseidon's side, right? Just what the hell are the ultimate gods? Are they just like the myths say, or are they something entirely different? Because if Zeus really does have the authority to destroy the whole universe... I don't know, okay? I mean, I can't say that my father was a machine. But if this Lostbelt developed along an entirely different timeline than the one we know, then it wouldn't surprise me if Zeus turned out to be a machine god just like that Poseidon was.
Ah yes, Poseidon the giant fish. And Artemis the orbital satellite cannon.
If these gods are the embodiment of this planet's concrete and abstract, and possess the same abilities, properties, and authorities described in the mythology, and if on top of that they also possess powerful mechanical bodies, then I suppose maybe those machines were always their true bodies, even in proper human history?
That makes sense.
And if that's the case, that means this Lostbelt is... Captain. Oh, right. Anyway, if he's omnipotent, and he seems to be, then he's the strongest being in Olympus. So it's safe to assume he is authority powerful and all-encompassing enough to merit leading the other 12 Olympians. I don't know exactly what he's like here, but in the Age of Gods I know, he was definitely the top dog. So if at all possible, I'd really rather not face him head-on.
Exactly, he's not someone we want to go head-to-head with.
It'd be one thing if there was a way to snuff out all of his demiurge-class divinity like we did with Scandinavians, India. But when it's an honest-to-goodness, genuine god we're talking about, that's just not going to work. Foe? Foe?
Red alert. What was that? Some kind of turbulence? No, it's Zeus making himself known. Now fall! Insignificant ones. All hands, brace for impact. This screenshot might be worth it. Yeah, I think this might be the prologue one, so let me just... There we go. I'll just make sure to upload that to my computer so I don't forget. Thunderbolts? No, these are great thunderbolts.
These magic energy levels are bonkers. Every single bolt is ginormous. Wait, you're kidding me. They're all as strong as Artemis's cannon.
Oh god, that's deadly. That's terrifying. Oh, come the hell on. I've heard of power creep, but this is nuts. Winnier, do whatever you must to make sure those things don't hit us. We've only just got this new ship.
Oh, wait. Checking hull readings now. I was right. They're all missing us, but how? Looks like our emergency scattering worked, Da Vinci. Hell yeah, it did.
Well, I'll be. Excellent work, Captain. Technical advisor. You're both far more useful than Aqua Paws are over there. So was that Jake Gizmo just now, anyway? Some sort of secret defense mechanism you put together when I wasn't looking?
Yep, pretty much.
It's basically a kind of spirit origin chaff grenade that uses extremely high performance dummy spirit origins to throw off enemy attacks. I only just finished putting it together before we went down the Great Pit. It's the Stormborder's latest great defense. Yeah, it might not have been able to finish it in time for a shutdown of Artemis, but it's designed to even defend against attacks from orbit. And as you just saw, it works brilliantly. None of that lightning is hitting us directly.
Whoa.
You're the best, Da Vinci. You know it.
That's right. Our Stormborder's amazing. This is just the kind of dream ship I would have imagined Captain Nemo and the Atlas Institute could come up with, and if they work together, not even Zeus's thunderbolts can touch us. You see that, Zeus? This is what proper human history's major association can do when we set our minds to it. Now, all that being said, would you mind if I brought up a different issue? I know we're managing to fight a brilliant mid-air battle at the moment, but technically, this ship is still falling. Am I right? I knew it.
Of course we're technically falling. I'm doing my damnedest to slow our fall with propulsion system and inertia control, but I can't change the fact that this is a boat. Of course it's not going to work right anywhere that's not on the sea, underwater, or void space.
Soul Mash, get to your seats and don't move a muscle, and keep an eye on the monitors. Look for any body of water we could use for an emergency landing. Sea, lake, pond, anything.
Aye aye, Captain Gordy. Roger that.
Dodging Zeus's thunderbolts won't do us much good if we end up being dashed to pieces on the ground. We need to keep the Stormborder and myself safe at any cost.
True, every aspect of this new border is undoubtedly at the cutting edge of proper human history's technology. However, with the supreme being of a mythological system so advanced they had futuristic technology like nanomachines for thousands of years really misses first strike. Then again, what if? Captain, Da Vinci, open the engine full throttle. It's not safe to be up in the air like this. Nearby body of water or not, we need to land while the chaff is still working.
There, target spotted 4,000 meters below. We can use the trees and the forest to cushion our descent. Set inertia control to 7 o'clock. Point the bow downward. Unfurl the zero sail by 80%.
Yeah, got it. I'll handle the controls. All you Marines, get to your posts now. Aye, aye, ma'am. We'll blast our way out of here like a giant marlin. He's leashing us, isn't he?
Keep scattering the spirit origin chaff as we descend. Once we are within 1,000 meters from the landing target, pitch the bow up. All hands brace for impact. It's gonna be a bumpy landing. Oh, this G-force is intense. It feels like my guts are about to come clean off. Why are we going down this fast, Captain? I thought the spirit origin chaff was keeping us safe.
An elementary deduction, Gordolf. True, the Stormborder's new weaponry is a force to be reckoned with. However, take a look at the gale of the thunderbolts and consider this. What if Zeus is still holding back and this is just what he considers warning shots?
Warning shots? They mean he sells yet to actually attack us? Then we're all as good as dead. They might call me Phoenix, but that doesn't mean I can fly out of here. Come on, everyone, hurry. We need to get out of this airspace as soon as possible.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do. Damn, it's no use. I can't dodge every bolt. We're going to take a direct hit. Monier, take the helm. Me? Senpai?
Brace yourselves, everyone.
Direct hit. Sounded a bit like thunder, that did. Lostbelt number 5. Lostbelt depth A+. 12,000 BC. Interstellar Mountainous city. Olympus. The day to bring down gods. More like weak, but semantics. Alright, and what does the map look like here? Blinding white light right now. I would like it if the blinding white faded. There we go. Okay, so it's literally just this. It's still pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, this is still pretty awesome looking. So we landed at the gliding point. That was all part of Section 1, not even a prologue. Just straight into Section 1, so the episode continues for Section 1. This is another no battle node, though, so that is at least a little bit of relief. Except for my voice. But, you know, I pretty much resigned to my voice being shot after this all. Ah! Shit. How am I supposed to emergency land a freaking battleship when I've never done before? And why am I the one taking the helm? What the hell are you doing, Captain? Ah, my hands, make sure you're strapped in tight. Jeez. Crash landing for sure.
Hey, we stopped. I'm alive, I think.
Master, are you alright? I'm fine. What about you, Match? I'm alright. I remained on standby in half-sitting posture so I could be ready for worst-case scenario, and I guess it worked out.
Good. Looks like we stuck the emergency landing. Next, shut down the magic reactors 1 through 3 and hurry. If Zeus notices their magical energy, he'll come after us.
Already done, Captain. Would you mind taking care of the ship's camouflage?
Don't worry, I'm on it. In fact, I'm already done. Since I disguised the ship right before we landed, the enemy shouldn't have seen where we wound up. Hurry up with the cloaking. They might not be able to see us, but they could still detect our magical energy.
Aye, sir. So they disguised us but didn't cloak us. Isn't that the same thing? Alright, now that things have settled down, let us assess our current situation. After Zeus attacked the storm border, we made an emergency landing near Olympus' western perimeter. By deploying optical camouflage around the ship, we were able to evade visual detection during the landing. We've also shut down the border's motive power, namely the magical reactors, and surrounded the entire hull with a concealing mounted field to prevent the enemy from detecting its magical energy. This should mean we've successfully landed the ship in Olympus with the enemy none the wiser as to our location, at least theoretically.
First off, great work, everyone. You should all be proud that we made it out of that without having to resort to a dangerous zero sail. After all, in the worst-case scenario, a zero sail taken without the necessary precautions could wipe us all out. Really, the few times we've managed to pull one off so far were basically miracles. Whew. Anyway, the important thing is, I'm glad we're all okay.
It just goes to show what an excellent machine the storm border truly is. It can evade an omnipotent god's thunderbolts. It can dive into void space. If we brought it back to proper human history, it would be the greatest technological revolution of all time.
That'll never happen. This ship couldn't exist in a world where humanity was flourishing like it's supposed to. It's only this completely bleached world that my Nautilus Noble Phantasm, Sion's Pseudo-Spiriton armor, aka the Hermes skin, Hephaestus' nanomachines, and Caldea's engineering could all come together like this. The only reason the storm border exists at all is to defeat the foreign god. I won't have a purpose beyond that.
Oh, I see. I suppose that's true, isn't it?
So in other words, we're going to reclaim Chaldea once the Lostbelts are dealt with. It is still a great ship, though. It is.
Indeed, you're spot on there. I'm glad to see you understand, Soul. At any rate, we can't let everything we did in Atlantis be for nothing. And we certainly wouldn't be able to look at the Atlanteans in the eye if we got ourselves shut down before we even landed the ship. We'll need to be ready to use all available resources. Have you finished replenishing your command spells? All the precious backup command spells we saved up in case we need them for a huge battle. And we're just going to use them up like it's nothing.
All replenished, sir. I think I actually am at all 3.
Good. Now that things have come to this, we'll have to use every resource at our disposal. After all, we still have a crucial mission to carry out.
Right, we absolutely must cut down the Tree of Emptiness here in Olympus.
Tell me, Technical Advisor, how safe do you think we are right now?
Good question. From the scans of the surrounding area, I'd say we lucked out. Peaceful meadow. I'm guessing this area we're in is on the outskirts of Olympus. There are almost no buildings here. There's no sign of any natives, and I don't see a single soldier or defensive weapon anywhere. We can thank Monier for his choice landing spots, since he was the one handling the controls on short notice. I agree, I would have landed the ship myself, but I have my hands full coordinating with the Nemo series. Great job, Monier. When we have the chance later, I'll give you a proper lesson on how to steer this ship. Oh, well, hey, what can I say? It was pretty impressive, I do say so myself, but still. Sure, I got a little panicked when you first asked me to take over, but I figured things would work out if I just stuck to my usual game plan. You made the right call, Mounier. I can't really take the credit. The Stormbird did all the hard work. I just kept it stable. Still, I'm glad I was able to help you out, Captain. You definitely did. I was planning to station a Marine in the cockpit, but I won't have to. So, since I'll have one spare now, I'll assign the ship's cleaning duty instead.
Good. Keeping the ship clean at all times will be a great boost to morale. Well, Administrative Advisor, the bad news. I know well enough by now that it can't all be good.
Right you are, Director. You are indeed getting the hang of this. Now that we've shut down all of our magical reactors, restarting them will take some time. Which means, of course, that we are effectively stuck here for the time being. That means no zero sail either.
Oh, I see.
So yeah. Be the pessimist. Be a pessimist. Good question. If they should happen to find us, making an escape would be very difficult. Alright, as long as we're unable to start up the ship's engine at a moment's notice, I'll be out to sea without a lifeboat if we're spotted again.
If we end up taking several of those supercharged magical energy attacks head on without any of our defensive mechanisms to shield us, well, excuse me, I don't even want to think about it.
Yet he is. Causes him to faint. Oh, Captain.
Huh? Captain, why'd you collapse like that? Are you okay? I'm sorry. It looks like Zeus's great thunderbolts were even more powerful than we thought. The one that hit us didn't damage the ship too badly, but it did damage my spirit core. Again? Oh no, does this mean those thunderbolts are actually anti-servant attacks? It's a good thing only one of them hit us. If even one more of those had struck, we might have ended up losing our new ship. Oh, this is pathetic. I don't even have the strength to stand.
Damn it, get Nemo Anderson here on the double, and make sure the captain's as comfortable as possible.
Right.
Does this mean you're injured as well, Da Vinci?
Looks that way. I thought I was just feeling off thanks to all the magical energy I used for the shape and the concealing spell. But since I was acting to the Storm Porter's CPU when we got hit, I guess I actually got hurt just as hard as the captain. I think I'd better rest up for a while, too.
Da Vinci. He's there. Good, I caught her in time. Hey, J6. Did you get him? Did you get the twins?
Thanks for the nurse call. Is it an emergency?
I'll say thanks for coming, Nemo.
It's Captain and Da Vinci. The former collapse in the ladder's totally drained.
You don't know how to feel about this? Oh, what don't you know how to feel about?
Please, hurry. Foo-foo! Holmes, Mynheer, how are Da Vinci and the captain doing? They're both asleep now. Well, I say asleep, but it's more like what we did back in Scandinavia.
They're in the recovery pods I used at the time. They may seem fine on the surface, but their spirit cores have both suffered significant damage. It may take them a few days, but don't worry, we expect them both to make full recoveries. To put it in the modern parlance, this will be no big deal.
2 Lancelots, 4 Canis. Well, damn.
That's a relief that it's no big deal for them as well.
Yes, it is. It's too bad we can't visit them while they're in the pods, but I'm still glad they'll be okay.
Quite so. Ideally, I'd prefer to wait for their full recovery before we begin our plan of attack in earnest, but...
Indeed, we have neither the time nor the mental capacity to spare for that. Both the captain and the technical advisor fulfilled their duties spectacularly. Yes, they may have been useless for the time being, but no matter. Their recovery takes priority. Meanwhile, those of us who remain will have an obligation to make the most of this opportunity they've given us, namely...
Make a move. Get them a nice fruit basket before they wake up. Make a move before we're found. No 5-star CE or the twins. Instead, you, Did you buy more quartz with real money, J6?
Exactly. By this point, I suppose there was no need for me to say anything after all was there. Alright, as the new director of the Chaldea and the commander of the Stormboard, here are my orders. Master Soul, Mashkarlite, his faithful servant. There is still much we don't know about our situation, but even so, I'll need you two to head out. Well, I'm afraid we won't be able to support you as normal with our technical advisor incapacitated. Myself, Mynheer, and our administrative advisor will do our best to fill our shoes in the meantime. Your sole objective for now is to explore this Lostbelt and recruit other proper human history servants. At least this time we won't be at a complete disadvantage thanks to the vanguard that got here ahead of us. Once you find the heroic spirits that came here from Atlantis, the tide is sure to turn swiftly in our favor. If we're going to defeat the detestable Kirstaria, cut down the preposterously huge tree of emptiness, and destroy that incredibly dangerous Zeus, you'll need to meet up with them first.
Did you get Waver, J6? Did Waver spook you? Let's get going, Mash. To adventure!
Right, Master.
I've just run a scan on our vicinity. Now, I'm afraid the circumstances are very much not in our favor. Unfortunately, we will be no more able to boost our ranks via summoning circle here than we were in Atlantis. Every last ley line for kilometers is under intense observation. They are too man-made, or perhaps I should say god-made, to be of use to us.
Disappointed and relieved? I mean, relieved because that was who you were going to pick for the free 5-star, was it not? Was Waver?
Suffice to say, we won't be able to secure the magical energy necessary to summon and maintain new heroic spirits while here in Olympus. I'm afraid we'll have to be content with using the Spirit Orograph for temporary combat-only summons.
Fo-fo!
All the more reason you need to find the heroic spirits who came here ahead of us as soon as possible. With the forces we have, we won't be able to keep up ourselves safe, let alone accomplish the mission.
How much quartz did you spend out of curiosity? I don't think you ever told me your plan.
It would have made things a lot easier if we could have summoned more combat-ready heroic spirits from a ley line. But I guess that was too much to hope for, just like it was in Atlantis. Well, in the meantime, I don't know how much these will help, but here, these are for you two.
Thanks, Mynheer, but what are they?
They're disguise kits. Well, a kind of mystic code, really, that Da Vinci made in secret based off the Atlanteans. Basically, they use magecraft to deceive onlookers both optically and perceptually, giving you the same effect as wearing a disguise without actually having to put one on. She said they make use of the same disguise principles as Holmes' noble phantasm. They should let you disguise yourselves as residents of Olympus and
gather info. 24 ticks to 24 quartz? It's not. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they'll have another raid up. I actually don't. They probably will. I'll look into when they'll have another raid up, J6. I shall look.
Right. I know this is business as usual for you guys by now, but still, be careful. The silver lining here is that your magical energy readings are the same as any other humans. Apparently, even Mashley has a tiny bit of servant ore read about her right now. So hey, in that sense, this should make it a lot easier to sneak in than it would be if you were bringing servants along.
I know, I'm just saying, I'm sure they will go on raid up eventually again. That's true. Under these circumstances, the risk of a hostile servant noticing me or senpai should be very low. So if all goes well, this should give us the chance we need to rendezvous with heroic spirits who got here before us. Plus, I'm pretty sure the CE is going to stay in the rotation for a long time, so, at the very least, there's always the chance of getting the CE again in future roles.
But that being said, you'll still be at a major disadvantage if you do end up in a fight, so don't lean on the disguise kits too heavily, okay? Then again, you're both old hands with Ratius and Lostbelt, so I'm sure you'll already know that.
Director? What is it, Administrative Advisor? I have 2 suggestions I'd like you to hear. The first is that we need to send the combat and environmental information we've gathered to data to the watering scene at data packet. And for the second, well, I think discretion would be the best course for this one.
What's this now? Careful, I'm quite ticklish,
What was that? Are you serious, Administrative Advisor? But that's... surely you can't. Doctor, do you remember the border guards that Odysseus kept under his command?
Yeah, the real jacked dudes, They were jacked.
I'm quite certain that your concerns, while understandable, are nevertheless unwarranted. It's incredibly risky, but I can't deny that it also makes a lot of sense. Alright. As the director of Novum Chaldea, I can't have my subordinates be the only ones putting themselves in danger to restore proper human history. Very well, Administrative Advisor, I accept your proposal. Thank you, I had every confidence that you would make the right decision.
Oh? What you guys talking about?
I'm afraid the time is not yet right. Don't worry, you'll find out soon enough.
Oh, I haven't heard you say that in a long time, Holmes.
Ha 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 ha. This is no laughing matter, if you ask me. Jeez. Alright, once again, Sol, Mash, Chirolite, as Director of Novum Chaldea, here are your orders. You two are to leave the border at once and make your way to the city of Olympus. Once you're inside, find where the other proper human history servants are and meet up with them post-haste. After you've secured an adequate fighting force, you are to cut down the 5th tree of emptiness. Roger, roger, sir.
Understood. We get our Olympian investigation right now. I hit my eye when I saluted there. Doesn't help that my eyes are, stupidly dry. Okay. So Section 1 is just all story and setup. That's lovely to know. Absolutely lovely. Maybe it's not going to be as much fighting. It's not going to be that difficult. I'll just breeze through the Lostbelt. Maybe. Directly beneath the 5th tree of emptiness, Megalon. Interstellar Mountainous City, Olympus. Great orbital shrine, Olympia Dodona, the center of its operations. The bell tolls. A revelation is upon us, a revelation is upon us. Ah, yes, Europa, the one who was allowed to be rolled before she officially was able to be seen in story. Now is the time of revelation. Gather round, O noble gods of Olympus. He has ruled the heavens since the dawn of time, emerging triumphant in no less than 4 Machia.
Ooh, 4. That's a lot more than the original 2.
By day he rules over the clear blue skies, by night he conquers what lies beyond them. He is the wielder of the great thunderbolts, capable of shattering stars, galaxy, and even the very universe. Authorities no less than Uranus and Cronus themselves bow to his will. He is the great demiurge, the one who wields the Cronus crown for all eternity. Now behold the words of the almighty Zeus.
Whoa. He got a big silhouette. I mean, Herc's a unit, so I guess Zeus has to be a unit as well.
I trust all are here.
Indeed they are, my lord.
The twins! Kire! Doman!
Rejoice, my fellow gods. Rejoice, gods from foreign lands. All is proceeding according to my will. The seeds I planted have grown brilliantly, disturbed neither by chill rain nor merciless rays of sun. Tree of emptiness Magellan. No. Atlas. The world tree is about to bloom.
Glory to almighty Zeus.
Castor. Okay, yes, Castor is the male. Congratulations, father.
That's wonderful, father. Congratulations.
Pollux is the female, yes. Pollux. Yes.
We must restore mythology to its rightful place. This Lostbelt's divine power must not remain relegated to Olympus. It must spread across the world. Across every bit of bleached white land. If humans were unable to save it, then the task falls to the gods instead. I shall use all the power I wield to save this world in the place of gods who left during proper human history. For it is still far too soon to lose the intelligent human species that has taken root on this planet.
Oh, well that's nice. Zeus doesn't see humans as... He sees us as a intelligent species. That's significantly better than the previous Lostbelt kings. So Zeus might respect us? Question mark.
This is indeed unfolding absolutely wonderfully. Even in my wildest dreams, I never imagined Atlas the World Tree would grow so large so quickly. It even puts the Indian Lostbelt tree's explosive growth to shame. This will undoubtedly be the land where our god, the foreign god, descends upon this world. Oh yes, of that I'm absolutely certain. Nothing could make we 3 alter egos who have come here on behalf of the foreign god happier. It is unfortunate that one of us could not be present at this time, but no matter. You have my pledge that I will do everything in my power to help you grow the world tree to maturity and ensure the foreign god's descent proceeds undeterred.
Oh, that's Aphrodite. I should have guessed by the heart symbols. I should have guessed by the heart symbols that this is Aphrodite.
The foreign god? Excuse me? It's always foreign god this and foreign god that with you. Are your ears working properly? Did you not hear what almighty Zeus has to say? He's the one who's going to save this world. There's no place for your foreign god here. Now remember your place and hold your tongue, foreigner, lest you say something you regret.
And this is Demeter. Demeter is the goddess of the seasons and harvest, I want to say?
No, Aphrodite. There's no need to let anger mar your beautiful face. Besides, you do well to not underestimate these gods from foreign lands, especially that monk there. Rumor is that he single-handedly drove the ancient land of India into a hellish cycle of reincarnation. So I'd be careful if I were you, lest he end up turning all of Olympus into Tartarus. Tartarus? Ridiculous. If you wish to joke, Demeter, save it for an audience who might appreciate your brand of humor. As for you, you have some nerve speaking of a foreign god in our presence. How dare you speak of a god from an alien planet, knowing full that we, descendants of chaos, migrated here from across the galaxy? Who do you think you are? You know nothing of Zeus's power. You know nothing of what transpired 14,000 years ago at the moment our Lostbelt began. You have no idea how Zeus' thunderbolts utterly destroyed the foreign invader who came to kill all life on the planet.
Who do I think I am, you asked? I'm me, of course, no more, no less.
You insolent little... Wait, Aphrodite. A moment, please, oh goddess of beauty. If I may, allow me to remind you that we are all equally invested in seeing the world tree to maturity. Lord Krishtari, the Cryptor, says that though our long-term goals may be different, for now cooperating is in our best mutual interest. Yes, they did spell chaos wrong. Krishtari Wadame.
Oh, what's this? My, is this truly happening? You, the goddess of beauty herself, and the arbiter of all for humanity. Deigning to take advice from a mere human, I never thought I'd see the day.
Limbo's trying to stir the pot!
That's enough, Limbo. Our joke is only funny when the audience is receptive. So I suggest you be more judicious about playing the jester while in the company of gods, especially given that the same tendency led to your failure in India. You don't mince words, do you? I was merely trying to lighten the mood, but you're right. I did misjudge my audience. It seems my failure in India has affected me more than I realized. Forgive me, O gods of Greece. Aphrodite, goddess of beauty. Demeter, goddess of land. All-powerful Zeus, priestess Queen Europa. I hope you'll accept this humble apology. Limbo. Oh my. I do beg your pardon.
Not at all, I'm the one who owes you an apology. I hope you'll forgive my momentary surprise, O gods of foreign lands.
Limbo. Don't be absurd, my illustrious Queen Europa. I am the one who has wronged you.
Who beheaded him? I must know. Not it.
Silence, all of you. I understand your anger. I understand your impatience. But stay your tongues. There are some facts we must accept, no matter how humiliating they may be.
I marked. That's fair. Minimal spoilers is indeed a thing. I'm still in section 1, though, so it will be the most minimum of spoilers.
Namely the fact that without the Tree of Emptiness, none of us could exist.
I can't wait to see Aphrodite and Demeter's designs. Thanks for stopping by, Marked.
Our glorious Olympus's prosperity, we 12 Olympians' eternal reign, all depend on the Tree of Emptiness. This we must come to terms with if we are to overcome the tree's hold on us.
Overcome the tree's hold? Does that mean you plan to cut the Tree of Emptiness?
As long as you grow the tree to full maturity, we have no objections as to what you do with it afterwards. But still, the very idea of overcoming the tree's hold is just... Are you truly capable of such a thing, almighty Zeus? Indeed, it is a task beyond even my all-encompassing power. Which is why I have formed an alliance with my sworn friend, Kushtaria Wodame, the Cryptor.
Wow, man. Krishtaria's making big friends. Zeus, now never mind, he's only a human. Zeus, you would still call that human your sworn friend.
Silence!
That was not a good silence.
Kushtaria Wodame, the Cryptor, is no ordinary human. One could well liken the mammalian humans from proper human history to little more than sentient reeds. And indeed, Kushtaria is sentient. But no mere reed could ever be that strong.
That strong, huh? Caddick! So this is the Machina Corridor of the Great Orbital Shrine Olympia Dodona, huh? It's way too damn long if you ask me. How's the guy supposed to cross this thing and get where he's going on time? Do they just make it to scale with the gods of Olympus or something? At this rate, I'm gonna die of old age before I get anywhere. Still, on a different note, I can't believe he's just letting me walk around like this unsupervised. What am I swear I can't tell what that guy's thinking. Now I feel like an idiot for keeping my guard up, constantly figuring it was just a matter of time before we needed to send someone to finish me off. I always thought a cryptid without a Lostbelt would be worthless, that he wouldn't have anywhere left to go and no reason to be kept alive. I was sure he was just going to take my Sirius light and be done with me. Was I wrong? I remember Dr. Marisbury said, a Sirius light is the power to overturn the very world. Possessing it is what makes you a crypter. We studied every abnormality that could possibly occur during the 7 Ages. We trained for every scenario we might encounter in the simulator. Team A was supposed to save the world, and our Sirius lights were supposed to be our trump card. But it's strange when you think about it. We were never actually told exactly what the Sirius light is. Surely they told us that they're even more powerful command spells, and that they produce way more magical energy than the user could ever generate on their own. But the only one of us who actually knows when and why to use them is Woodame. After all, he was the one who was entrusted with their timing. So he should also be the only one who knows how the Sirius lights are really meant to be used. So then why hasn't he taken mine? Ever since we came back to life, Woodama's always said how the cryptors are all equal in the foreign god's eyes, but it never occurred to me that he might really mean it. Does this mean he seriously believes that? Damn it, what am I saying? There's no way he could. He's a noble. He's got to have some angle I'm not seeing. There must be something that only he knows. Something about the Sirius lights, the foreign god, the Tree of Emptiness, and one of the Lostbelts can exist in the present day. Alright, Woodame, I'll find out what it is you're up to. Whatever it is you and Zeus are plotting, I'm gonna bring it to light. And if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna need a distraction that really stands out.
Ooh. Plots within the cryptos against one another. You know, I was thinking. I still haven't been punished for my failure with the Indian Lostbelt, right? So go ahead and punch me however you see fit, Woodame. Whatever it is, I can take it. I have not yet given you cause to... I hope I have not given you cause to mistake me, Pepe. We cryptos are colleagues, nothing more. I have no authority to punish you any more than any others do. For the time being, Scandinavia Peperoncino, let's just be glad that you're alright. You sure are taking this all in stride, not that I expected anything less, of course. But I still wouldn't feel right getting off scot-free. Why didn't you at least take my Sirius light? Sure, I could probably save more face with the foreign god if I offered it up to them instead. But I couldn't care less about getting in either for the foreign god or the alter ego's good graces. So here, hon, you can have my Sirius light. Make sure you make good use of it. Thank you, Pepe, but there's no need for that. You can keep yours. A Sirius light has not been my responsibility since Team A ceased to be relevant. So no, you should hang on to yours. What you do with it is up to you. I see. So Ophelia didn't happen to die after using hers. She died because she used her Sirius light. Would I be right in assuming that's what Marisbury had in mind when he put the team together? Not at all liberty to answer that, huh? Now I'm getting it. I'm starting to see just a little more of what your relationship was really like. Despise me if you wish. You are probably right to do so. Despise you? Now you're just insulting me, Woodame. I think the fact that you're refusing to say anything just goes to show how much integrity you have. Up to this point, I still wasn't sure who was connected to what. But I think I'm finally starting to see how the pieces fit together. It's never really sunk in before, but I guess we're all enemies of humanity after all. I have to say, Pepe, your sheer mental fortitude never fails to surprise me. I'm amazed you can still smile like that under these circumstances. Hey, it's the one thing I've got going for me. Though in my case, it's more despair than self-possession. But hey, the important things are that I'm alive right now, and that's what I need to do, and what it is I need to do next, right? I'd never get anywhere if I spent all my time fretting about a past I can't change. So I'm just going to tell you this in the hope that it might lead to an even more fun future. You know how the disciples are always telling us the foreign god wants the Lostbelts to flourish and that the strongest one will become the foundation of a new humanity? Well, I'm positive they're lying. They're not planning on any Lostbelts surviving. Well, we've been hoping that one of the Lostbelts would become the next proper human history. They've got other plans entirely. And why do you think that? I heard it straight from the alter ego's mouth back when he was elated at the first prospect of his seemingly assured victory. I swear I never would have guessed his fondness for hearing himself talk would actually work in our favor. I see, so you got a limo to talk. Then I won't be responsible for what you've learned, and it won't violate my contract with the foreign god. That being said, Mioronji, I can't say anything more in response to what you've just told me. All I can tell you is that I'm prepared to establish this Lostbelt as the new proper human history, and that I have done everything I can to see that this vision made reality.
I'll use everything at my disposal to ensure this Atlantic Lostbelt becomes the planet's future. In the meantime, I want you to carry out your duties as a member of Team A in whatever way you feel is best.
Hey, you don't have to tell me. I was already planning to do whatever I wanted. Besides, I was never really into the whole King of the Earth competition thing anyways. But let me know if you ever need help with anything, alright? I'm not that much of an ingrate, you know.
Not that much of an ingrate, huh? Of course I know that, Pepe. You've been of help to me more often than you realize. You always described yourself as a cold-blooded killer, but in fact you were always the most humane. Always honored your obligations more than any of us.
And there's the priestess.
Oh, unless I'm very much mistaken, there is a great deal of venom in your expression. Are you unhappy with what we just discussed? Peperoncino came to his conclusions based on what the alter ego said. There's no need to eliminate him. Nor did I tell the other cryptors any of the foreign gods' secrets. So far as I could tell, there have been no breaches of contract here. Am I wrong?
So is she an intermediary, it seems?
Everything is proceeding according to plan. The Tree of Emptiness is now a full-grown catalyst, ready to bring your true form down to this world. Zeus no doubt means to use this energy for his own ideals. For my part, I have no intention of getting his way. I promised him I wouldn't, after all. We agreed, though, that, though our positions may be very different, Zeus and I would work together to ensure the Atlantic Lostbelt is fully completed. And I will not be going back on my word. Not after he trusted me enough to let me see him in a moment of his weakness.
Oh?
I'm well aware, if Zeus's plan comes to fruition, the Tree of Emptiness's magical energy will be depleted and the foreign god's descent will be delayed. Should that happen, I will be considered in breach of contract and my life will be forfeit. But that is not going to happen, much as it pains me to say this as his friend. Zeus's ideas will never work, even if his plan is flawless. Once they fail, that is where I will come into play. Don't worry, I'll see that my job is done perfectly. I value my life as much as anyone, after all. It would be equally trivial for me to complete this Lostbelt and see Zeus's ideals realized, or to conclude this Lostbelt and let the foreign god descend upon this world. The only unknown factor that could possibly pose an obstacle to either of those outcomes is Chaldea and whatever course of action Sol chooses to pursue. I only hope his spirit isn't yet broken. I'm counting on him to make his way here make his way here and once more throw himself into battle against me, so that I can conclusively demonstrate that to him that his efforts were for naught.
Well, Kirstaria, you're quite arrogant there. But that is finally section 1. Much shorter than the prologue for Lostbelt was.